Hello everyone, how are you? And today we are going to discuss about. Hello everyone, how are you all? And today we are going to discuss about pollution of air and water. Okay. And before starting, I would like to introduce myself. I am Anik Ghosh and I am your chemistry teacher. From now onwards, I'm going to take your online classes like this. Hello everyone, how are you all? I am Anik Ghosh and from now onwards, you are going to watch my videos. And today we are going to start with pollutions of air and water. So as you know, this is the last chapter of your science syllabus, right? So we are going to have our 100% concentration towards this video, okay? Okay, so this is a very simple chapter. This is the reflection of our everyday life. Okay, we are going to have so much fun. I have some very cool videos, and today we are going to learn so much about what is going around us. Okay, so now the first thing is, as you can see, the things today we are going to learn is the pollution, and I am going to introduce how this pollution happens actually. Okay, what are the what are the effects of this pollutions and all these things about it. After that, greenhouse effect. Okay, so this is a very interesting thing. Okay, this is the reason why we are still alive on this earth. Okay, I'm going to tell you about this. Apart from that, the acid rain. Okay, this acid rain means the acid are pouring into our body. Okay, and next, the Taj Mahal case. So here we are going to learn about what is happening to Taj Mahal because of this pollutions. What is happening? We are going to learn about stone cancer. We are going to learn about the reasons why Taj Mahal is fading away. Okay, and after that we are going to come across some frequently asked questions. Okay, so the first thing of today's class is we are going to start with the pollution of air. So why am I choosing air? Because we know that what is the most important thing. If you think about the most important thing you need to live, what is the most important thing? Just think about it. Think about yourself living without water. I think you can live for a couple of days, right? Now think of yourself living without food. Okay, even without food, you would be able to live for near about a week. Okay, so when you'd be learning more and more chapters in biology, you'd be learning that how our body takes up the different constituents like the carbohydrates, after the proteins and all the things when we are starving. Okay, now, but if our air is polluted, if our air is contaminated with something which is very much harmful for our health, then we would not be able to live for a minute, right? So this is what happens. So the most important thing, from where we should start this chapter, is the pollution of air, right? Now, as you can see, first I am writing here what are the main constituents of air. As you know, if I just break this air down and if I just try to think that what are the gases those are there in the air, so definitely we would find nitrogen, as it is there 78%, isn't it? And for oxygen, it is near about 21%, right? These two are the most important gases which are there, which is there in the air, right? Apart from that, what are the other gases? Try to pause this video and try to think about it. Okay, after you get the answer, please resume this video. Okay, so I think you got it. The other gases are carbon dioxide. Apart from that, what are the other gases? Like argon, like the helium. So these are the inert gases, right? We call it noble gases, right? So apart from that, carbon dioxide is also there, right? So, and in the among the inert gases, which gas is there, and which is the most abundant gas among the inert gases? Please try to tell me the answer. Yes, argon. So argon is the gas which is the most abundant gas present in the air among the inert gases, right? Very good. Now, moving on to the next part. So let's start this chapter with some good questions. So why is respiratory problems increasing amongst the children, right? So children, those have the fresh lungs, why they are facing this type of respiratory problems. Okay. Now, to answer this question, first I would like to show you a video over here. Okay. Please watch this video. This video is very interesting. Okay. Please watch it carefully. Okay. So first, I'm just going to skip this video because there is an introduction about the characters. Those are there in the video. So I'm just going to skip it to 2.57, which you can see over here. I've written. Okay. So 2 minute 57 seconds. Should I? Yes. There you go. So let me tell you about the context of this video. So what is happening over here? So there is a girl which she has to complete her assignment. Okay, and her mom and her brother is helping her. Okay, the assignment is what are the pollutants those are there in her locality. Okay, now what's this video? You try to tell me the answer. What is just try to tell me any one harmful chemical which is getting released when you are burning something. So just think about it. You have learned about the combustion process. Okay, I think you know it. Okay, let's see whether your answer matches or not. So as you can see, the people who just takes up these garbages, they just segregates those things. Those are important, like the iron, like the plastic bags, because those are important things. Those are recyclable things, right? Okay. So I think you can understand if the rest of the garbage is getting burned, then what can happen from it. So I think you can see that from if you just from the combustion reactions, you would be able to see carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, these type of gases are getting released, right? Apart from that, there are some other gases as well, like sulfur dioxide and the nitrogen dioxide. Those type of gases are also there, right? But due to this reaction, this type of reaction, what is happening is these type of gases are getting released, and as this type of gases are getting released, they are very much harmful for your health. We are going to learn about it, like why these type of gases are harmful for our health. And the thing is, we shouldn't be doing this, right? We shouldn't be doing this. Like all the things are getting going to the dump yard and everything is getting burned. So as a result, there's a huge number of pollutants. Those are going into the atmosphere. Okay, and our air pollution is the primary thing which is happening for that, right? Now let's just proceed. Exactly. So now I think you can see 8,000 to 9,000 metric tons. 8,000 to 9,000 metric tons. Let me tell you, 1 metric ton means 1,000 kgs. Now think about it. Okay, this much amount of garbage is getting burnt every day. Okay, that is what we are talking about. Exactly. That is the point, right? Exactly. I think you all do this thing, right? After, taking the food from the plastic, you just throw it around, right? So I think you can understand right now why is this so important to not to do that thing, right? So this is, polluting our environment, right? So you shouldn't be doing this because at the end, what is being done with those things? They are getting burned. And from there, we are getting carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. So let me tell you a brief let me give you a brief overview about this carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. So this carbon monoxide, we call it silent killer. We call it silent killer. Do you know why? I think you know that inside your blood there is a special type of I think you have read about it, right? Inside our blood there are hemoglobins, right? Hemoglobins, right? Now, what about this hemoglobin? So these hemoglobins are made up of irons. These irons are making our blood red in color. Okay, let's leave this thing aside. The main thing about it is hemoglobin is a what is the use of this? This carries oxygen to our lungs. Okay, this hemoglobins carries the oxygen to our lungs. Okay, so this is the oxygen carrier. This is the main thing that helps the oxygen to get transported to our lungs. Okay, now think about it. What happens is when carbon monoxide is there in the air, what would happen? This carbon monoxide would get attached with this hemoglobin instead of oxygen. So carbon monoxide has 1,000 times greater binding power than oxygen with the iron of hemoglobin. As a result, what would happen? The oxygen would be there in front of you. You would be having so much oxygen in front of you in the air or in the oxygen cylinder. You'd be having all of that, but you would not be able to access them. What would happen is carbon monoxide would get attached to hemoglobin and your shell would only be getting this carbon monoxide instead of oxygen. And if your cell is not getting oxygen, it would not be able to get the energy, right? For that reason, what would happen? You would die. You would die within a few like within half an hour or few hours. Okay, and you would not be able to know that what is happening with you. So for that reason, we call it silent killer. Okay, so this is what can happen with you. Okay, so for that reason, I think you can understand what is the main reason why we are reading this chapter, isn't it? Now, let's just continue. This thing is very important. Just look at this video carefully. Okay, So so I should stop this video over here because I think you have heard so many names within a very few, time span. Okay, so we have heard about the things that can be caused by a factory. So when a factory emits the smoke from the inside, what happens is there are sulfur dioxide, there are nitrogen dioxide, there are some different types of elements that are coming out from there. We are going to read in details about them. Okay, now the thing is, the same thing is happening with Taj Mahal as well, and there is something happening with Taj Mahal as well. And you have also heard about another name which is called acid rain. Okay, so these are the names you have heard recently in this video. Now I'm going to tell you about them in details. Okay, so this was the quick overview about this. What are we going to read in this chapter? So this video tells everything about it. Okay, now let's see. The first thing we are going to learn is that what is a pollution. Okay, so as you know that our air has everything in a proper proportion. That at the initial point only I told you that our air has nitrogen, which is 78%. We have oxygen, which is 21%. We have carbon dioxide, we have 0.03%. We have the other gases, right? So like the argon, like the helium, we have read about it already, right? So these are the main things. So these gases are there in 0.93%. Among them, only argon is 0.90%, and all the other gases together they are making this 0.03%. Okay, now so this was all about the composition of the proportion of the different types of gases in the air, right? Now you can see that, like, when these proportion is getting altered due to any reason. Okay, like if the amount of carbon dioxide gets increased, if the amount of different types of gases get increased, the proportion is getting altered, we can say that this is not good for our health. Okay, we have adopted ourselves to live in these proportions only. Okay, you can see we study the harmful changes taking place in our surrounding and their effects on our lives. The substances that contaminates the air and the water are known as the pollutants. So the things those are contaminating the air and the water are called the pollutants. Okay, air gets polluted from the natural sources like smoke and dust arising from the forest fire and volcanic eruptions. So here they are trying to discuss about of the causes of this pollution. Okay, so it can be smoke, which is caused by us. It can be dust, which is also caused by us, or these two can also be caused by natural disasters as well, like the forest fires, like the volcanic eruptions. So I think you have heard about the recent forest fires. Those, like, in 2019 you have heard about it, right? There was Amazon fire, right? Now, so the pollution, so what is the pollution? So I think you can understand that the undesirable changes in the surrounding which has an adverse effect on plants and animals and other biological and physical components of the environment. Okay, so what happens is, what is a pollution? So the pollution is nothing but, like, when we are just getting some undesirable thing that we do not desire, right? Undesirable changes are occurring. Undesirable changes are occurring, okay, in our surroundings, and it is harming both our biological and physical components. Okay, so this is known as the pollution. Okay, now it can happen due to the addition of different types of things in the air and the water, or due to the change in the compositions or something like that. Now, causes of air pollution. So what are the main causes of air pollution? So as I told you already, that the air pollutions are uh, due to the, like, there are different types of ways through which you can get the air pollution. So the thing is, first thing is the natural sources that I have already told you about the pollutions. So what are the different types of the sources through which this air pollution occurs? So just give me a moment. Yeah, so the first thing is the natural sources. Okay, now the natural sources are the sources for which, for the natural disaster and different types of natural calamities for which you can have these pollutions, right? Think about the forest fire, which we were discussing, right? The forest fire. So what happens is, from forest fire we get, like, everything gets burned. Okay, so this is nothing but a combustion reaction. And you know what happens from the combustion reaction, what gets out of a combustion reaction? Yes, we have just discussed about it: carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide. So these are the harmful chemicals, harmful gases that comes out when a combustion reaction occurs, right? Yeah. So exactly. So this happens for the natural sources, and there are different types of man-made sources are there as well, like the power plants, like from our homes, from industries, from different types of places. We are emitting so much amount of pollutants that it is polluting both our air and the water as well. I think you have also heard about that. We are also hurting the sound, like we are also polluting the sound as well, right? For that reason we have just stopped using firecrackers, right, in Diwalis, right? So now here I'm going to classify this pollution again into two types of classification. So you can see that pollutions can be classified as indoor pollution and outdoor air pollutions as well. Okay, now what are the indoors air pollution? So the mainly the pollution, those are coming out from your homes. Okay, from our homes. So I think you can understand, like, what are the main things those are making this indoor air pollutions. So just think about it, like, if I consider CFC, do you know the full form of CFC? It is chloro fluorocarbon. Okay, so this comes out from our refrigerator, from the AC, so these type of things. So this chlorofluorocarbon comes out. So this is a very, you know uh, like, important air pollutant. Okay, these are the very adverse effect on the air. Okay, so this is one of the things that comes out from our like our homes only. Okay, apart from that, there are VOC. Do you know the full form of VOC? Please try to pause this video and try to think about it. You know it? If you got it, then definitely you are a genius. So it's called volatile organic compounds. So we call it VOCs. Okay, volatile organic compounds. So these are mainly the compounds, those are organic compounds. So let me tell you about it. So actually volatile organic compounds are the compounds, those are there in your perfume or different types of sprayer type of thing. Okay, when you spray the perfume, what happens is there are small particles. Those are aromatic particles only. We call it aromatic particles. Okay, so those particles, they are volatile in nature, right? Like spirit. When you just spray a perfume, what would happen? After some times it would get evaporated, right? So these are volatile, okay, and these are organic, okay, so they are very much harmful for the air as well. So you are using perfume, let me tell you, this is also harmful for you as well. This is also harming your skin, okay. So next time you use these type of perfumes and all these type of things, be sure that you know about it, okay. There are 500 types of different VOCs, those are there, in these type of perfumes, okay. So they are not good for your health, okay. Now, so what are the other things? So there are like VOCs, there are CFC, there are smoke coming out, tobacco smoke, right? Tobacco smoke, chimney smoke from the chimneys. So there are so many, if I just start talking about it, you can understand there are so many ways through which we are harming our air, right? So we should stop doing these things, okay. There are LPG burnings. So what is LPG? Liquefied petroleum gas. So the gases, those are there in your kitchen, okay. So when they are getting burned, there are some types of things, those are coming out from there as well. There is smoke coming out from there as well. Although we call it a complete combustion and all these things are there, yeah, we are going to learn, we like in combustion and fuel, okay. So just forget about this for now. But there are so many, all I want to say is there are so many reasons, so many sources from which the gases from the different types of things are coming out in our air and polluting it, okay. Are we clear up to this? Okay. Now, depending on this, we are going to discuss about the air quality. So let me tell you, like when you are discussing about the pollution level of a particular place, the main thing that we do is we measure the air quality index, okay. So this is a particular scale that helps us to find out the amount of the how the air is, whether it is polluted or whether it is not polluted, okay. This air quality index helps us to do that, okay. Now, what is indoor air quality? Okay, so that is the thing that we were discussing about. So you can see defined as the quality of air within the house, buildings, and commercial structures. Low indoor air quality leads to the immediate effects such as irritation of eyes and redness of eyes and headaches and dizziness. I think all of you have faced these situations once or twice, right? You can see like these are the symptoms that you would come across. Your eyes would get red, so you would have some coughs or asthma types problems. So these are the things that you can come across, right? Now, moving on to the next part. So there we are going to learn about how our air is actually getting polluted. What is the actual way through which it is getting polluted? So actually there are two different types of pollutants, okay? So there are two different types of pollutants types, okay? One is primary pollutants, another one is secondary air pollutants, okay? Now you can see that the primary air pollutants are the air pollutants which are just getting generated from us or from different types of things, okay, and just polluting the air. Like let me give you some example. Like think about just wait for a moment. Yeah, so just think about uh NO, nitrous oxide, okay, sorry, nitric oxide. Apart from that, let's think about sulfur dioxide, okay. Let's think about what are the different types of, just think about, just pause this video and try to think about different types of gases. Those are directly polluting the air, okay. Carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide. So these are the different types of gases. Those are, directly NO2. Those are directly harming the air. They don't need anyone's help, right? And what are the secondary air pollutants? So secondary air pollutants are the air pollutants, those are getting generated from the primary air pollutants, okay. So think about it. there are air pollutants. These are called primary air pollutants. They are directly polluting the air. But the secondary air pollutants are the air pollutants which are getting generated from the primary air pollutants only. Okay. So as a result, we can say, like, what are the secondary air pollutants? Think about it. So what happens is, let me tell you what happens is, this SO2, okay, get mixed with water in the atmosphere, and from there it forms H2SO4. This acid is a pollutant. Okay, so what happens is, this acid comes down with the rain. Okay, this is acid rain only. We are going to discuss about it in details as well later on. So right now, what I'm trying to tell you, this SO2 is directly harming the air. That's a very good point. But apart from that, this SO2 is getting mixed with water as well. Together they're making H2SO4. That is also, harming the water. That is also, coming down as the rain, and that is also harming us in a different way. So one SO2 is doing two different things. Okay, same thing happens with NO2 as well. So NO2 again get attached with water, and together they forms HNO3. So that is also another acid that comes down with the rain. Okay, so this is another reason for the acid rains, and this is also a secondary air pollutant. Okay, so I think we got a idea about it. So let's think about it. If I just try to tell you about another secondary air pollutant, just try to think about another secondary air pollutant. So think about NO. Okay, NO is a primary air pollutant, right? It's a primary air pollutant, right? Now when this NO is, after getting released, when it is reacting with the oxygen present in the atmosphere, what would happen is, it would get reacted with that, and it would form NO2. Now this NO2 is a secondary air pollutant. Getting my point? Okay, now look at this picture over here. You would get some other examples of secondary air pollutants and the primary air pollutants as well. Got it? Now, so you can see, like here, secondary air pollutants, one that gets generated due to the reaction between the various constituents of air. Examples: acid rain. So you can see that acid rain. So so far we were discussing about acid rain only, right? This is the constituent of, yeah. So these are the constituents of acid rain only, right? So this was the thing. I think you got it. Clear? Fine. Now let's jump into the next part. I think we are not getting bored, right? This chapter is very interesting, right? So we can see these things every day. These are the things that happens with us every day, and we should know this chapter. We should read this chapter in details, because these are the things that are going to make our lives better. Okay, we need to change ourselves. So we can see that this is not only a chapter that is needed to be read and just needed to be written on the papers. Okay, you can see that this chapter, you need to learn this, you need to feel the thing, like what is happening surrounding us. So right now you are having the fresh air, that's why you are not giving it the proper importance. So there would be a day when you would be begging for this time. When you would be thinking that what would happen if I get this chapter, if I get to know about all these things earlier. So right now this chapter is giving you the scope about it. Don't think that I'm just going to read it, I'm just going to learn it, I'm just going to write it on the paper. Don't think like that. You have to learn this chapter in the proper way, and you have to apply this thing, apply this knowledge. Unless and until you are applying your lessons into the practical world, these are not called the knowledges, right? So you need to apply these knowledges in your practical world. You need to stop using those carry bags, you need to stop using, stop burning things, right? So you have to make those things, you have to understand those things, right? Now So what is happening with Taj Mahal? So I think you know that Taj Mahal is one of the seven wonders of the world, and something is wrong with that. Okay, Taj Mahal is sick. Okay, now why is this happening? Okay, so now you need to understand that this pollution is harming our Taj Mahal as well. Okay, so how is it doing that? So you can see carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, and nitrogen dioxide reacts with water vapor present in the atmosphere to form this carbonic acid, sulfuric acid, and nitric acid. So isn't it something we have just read, right? Give me a moment. Yeah, so we have just read about it, isn't it? So what happens is the air pollutants, those we were talking about, like NO2, like SO2, like CO2. So what happens is they are reacting with the water vapor present in the air. We know that in our air there are so much amount of water vapor present, right? So they are reacting with that water vapor which is there in the air, and as a result what is happening, they are making these type of acids like HNO3, like H2SO4, like H2CO3, right? So these are the different types of acids, those are getting there. Okay, now you can see these are they are all they're all acids, right? Tell me, strong or weak? Strong or weak? They are strong acids, right? They can burn you, right? Now these acids, what are they doing? They are coming down with rain. They are coming down with rain. Okay, so you are standing on the rain, and actually what is coming down with the rain, these acids are coming down with the rain. So what would happen if you just go out in this type of rains? What would happen? You would get burnt, right? So we don't want that. So if you just keep on using, if you just keep on polluting our air, this is what can happen to us. Okay, I think you can understand the severe things about it. So you can now you just go through the reaction, those are there written over here. So carbon dioxide and water, those are making, this is the formula of carbonic acid. Carbonic acid. You need to remember these names, okay? You are a good student and you have to remember it. This is called, SO2 plus H2 oxygen. What we call it? We call it, they are getting mixed together, SO2 oxygen and the water vapor. They are making H2SO4. So let me just break it down for you. So what happens is SO2, after getting reacting with oxygen, what is happening is it is making SO3, sulfur trioxide. This sulfur trioxide is reacting with water to give you H2SO4, isn't it? This is another strong acid. So due to the presence of this strong acid, what happens is this is another constituent of this acid rains. And here as well, you can see like NO2 and oxygen and water are there together. They're making this HNO3. Okay. So even, you know what, even NO as well, it can also make this acid rain as well. So how can it make that? So it would react with the oxygen, okay, to make NO2. This NO2 would get reacted with water to give you HNO3. So these are the main ways through which you this different types of this type of pollutants are polluting the air surrounding us. Okay, got it? It's a very simple thing, right? So these are the acids, those are coming down with the rain, and those are harming our Taj Mahal. How is it harming our Taj Mahal? So what is happening is, so you can see, just change the ink. So if you have any doubt from whatever I'm teaching you, you just have to, write it on the forum, okay? And a teacher would get back to you. Now, the thing is, look, Taj Mahal is made up of stone, right? or I should rather say, so stone is a very wild word, so I should rather say marbles. This is a sophisticated word, right? Now, this is from what Taj Mahal is made up of, right? Now, these marbles have a chemical formula. Okay, if you have interest, you would learn, right? We call it calcium. We call it calcium carbonate. We call it calcium carbonate. Okay, so this is there in our marble. So marble is made up of this only. Okay, now this is marble. Okay, not marvel. Okay, I'm not talking about that comics like the Superman or all those things. No, Superman comes in DC, right? So I have a very few knowledge about it. Okay, so marble means that Iron Man, right? Iron Man. I got it right. Okay, now, so these are marbles. Okay, the marbles means the thing, the tiles, the marbles. I think you got it right. So they are made up of calcium carbonate only. Okay, now what happens is this calcium carbonate. I'm just telling you the whole reaction that happens with. Let's take any one of the acids. Okay, H2SO4. This would work. From the acid rain, it is coming up, coming down. So together they makes this thing, calcium sulfate. We call it calcium sulfate. If you are just finding it difficult to remember, just forget about it. Okay, you don't have to remember all these things, but you should try at least, right? Just try to remember this thing. You have to be, you have to be better than the others, right? You have to look cool, right? So you know these type of things, so that makes you better student, right? So you should know these things, what is happening actually. Yeah, we most of the students would tell you that, yeah, that something is happening to the, like, that the acid rain is falling into the Taj Mahal and something is happening to the Taj Mahal and it is just getting faded away. But let me tell you what is happening, so you know that what is happening. Taj Mahal is made up of calcium carbonate only, and it is reacting with H2SO4 together. They are making CaSO4, which is called calcium sulfate. So as a result, this marble, this marble, this is getting decayed, right? It is decaying. And as a result, what is happening? And this calcium sulfate has a very, dull color. So as a result, what is happening? All the shine is getting away from our Taj Mahal. Now you can see the acid rain corrodes. So this is the main thing. No, just forget about the word decay. Just remember this word corrode. Okay. So acid rain corrodes the marble. Okay, of the monument. So from here, I just found out that, like, I was writing it wrong all the time, right? Forget about it. Okay. Now, air pollution is turning white marble into black. So this has the color black. So it is getting, converted into a black substituent in this way. So now, if I just wait for a moment. Yeah. Now, if I just try to discuss about the different type of reasons why this, yeah. So the causes why this is happening actually, why only the Taj Mahal is getting affected in that much amount, that much extent, right? What is the reason behind it? So you can see the causes are the industry. So there are so many industries surrounding the Taj Mahal area in Agra. Okay. So where is Taj Mahal? Agra, right? Now, apart from that, there is Mathura oil mill. So Mathura oil refinery is just beside the Agra Taj Mahal. If you have ever visited Agra Taj Mahal, so Mathura oil mill is near like 5 kilometers radius. Okay, so this is very close to Agra Taj Mahal. Okay, so as a result, what is happening is there are so many there are rubber industries as well. surrounding it. So I think you can understand, like, these industries are the reason they are, emitting this NO2, they are emitting this SO2, they're emitting the different types of carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, these types of different types of gases from their chimneys, right? As a result, what is happening, that is the reason why, from there the acid rain is coming, from there the Taj Mahal is getting affected, right? So now I think I don't need to write this reaction. You just tell me what would happen. You tell me CO2 plus H2O. Tell me what is the product of the reaction. You just have to add them up, okay? First write 2H, okay? 2H were there, to say H2. Now C, two oxygen here, one oxygen here. So total CO3. Who is going to tell me what is the name of this compound? Tell me. Pause this video. Think about it. We have just learned about it. So this is called carbonic acid. This is called carbonic acid. Apart from that, SO3 plus H2O. Pause this video and tell me what is the form, what is the thing you are going to get. H2, write H2, after that S, and 3 oxygen here, 1 oxygen here, H2SO4. We call it nitric acid, right? No, we call it sulfuric acid, right? This is not nitric acid. This is sulfuric acid. So what is nitric acid then? When HNO3 is getting formed. So NO2 plus H2O. HNO3 is getting formed. This is nitric acid. Got it? So this is not difficult, okay? All you have to do is you have to understand the whole topic, okay? Now, so now what is written over here, acid rain or acidic deposition, is a broad term that includes any form of the precipitation with acidic components. So you don't have to go through these lines in detail. So I think you can understand the whole topic. You have understood the whole topic, what is happening about in the acid rain things. Okay, so the pollutants are coming down, right? Now the last part of this chapter, the greenhouse effect. Okay, this is the last part. So I think you have enjoyed this class already, right? So this is the last part. Just give your 100% now. Okay, the last part of this class, the greenhouse effect. So please tell me what is greenhouse first. I think you know about it. What is a greenhouse? Go on. So the greenhouse is a typical type of a thing. So let me, draw a house for you. Isn't it sweet? This is how I draw a house. Okay. Now think about it. Okay. So this is greenhouse. Okay. So think that this is greenhouse. So what happens is, I think you draw better than me, right? So what happens is, in the when where in the polar regions, what happens, not in the polar regions, so where there are regions where the temperature is not that much. So how would they be able to grow the vegetable, because ice is falling every time, all the time, right? So how would they be able to grow grow the different types of vegetables? So let's see this video to understand this whole topic in details. Okay. So this is a very important thing. Okay, so what is a greenhouse actually doing. So when this sunlight is falling into the greenhouse, it is going straight through it. Okay, it is falling into the plants. Those are there. But the thing that is happening, it is not being able to go out of it. Okay, after getting reflected, the light is not being able to go out of this house. Okay, there are reasons behind it. If you just want to know why, what happens is after getting the reflection, light has a larger wavelength. So as it has a larger wavelength, it has a lower penetrating power. Okay, so wavelength is getting increased. The penetrating power, it would be a E. Okay, penetrating penetrating power decreases, right? And as the penetrating power is decreasing, the light is not being able to go out of the system. Okay, and it is, keeping the keeping the hot inside the system. As a result, what is happening? The trees are getting the compatible temperature and compatible amount of light to survive. As a result, what happens is this is a very helpful thing to grow these plants. So just focus on this thing, that every words she's telling you. Okay, so earth is surrounded by some sort of gases. Those are called the atmosphere. Okay, now let's see. So what is happening? The light is coming down to the earth, but the earth is being surrounded by the atmosphere, right? After the light is coming down to the earth, after that, when it's trying to go away, it is not being able to do that. As a result, what is happening? The temperature of the earth is getting increased. The temperature of the earth is getting increased. Okay, let's see. So if you are thinking that the greenhouse gases are bad for us, then you are wrong. So without the presence of these greenhouse gases, we would not be able to entrap the temperature of the sun. As a result, the temperature of the earth would have been minus 15 degrees centigrade, sorry, minus 80 degrees centigrade. Now the earth's average temperature is 15 degrees centigrade. Just because the greenhouse gases are there, it is entrapping the whole temperature. For that reason, we are having a very comfortable time, we are having a very comfortable weather, just because of the greenhouse only, gases only. But as I told you, nothing is good when it is in excess, right? So that was a very, enriching video over here, right? So what is happening? So I think you got it. So the greenhouse gases are there. So what are the greenhouse gases? Methane, CH4, CO2. So these are the greenhouse gases, okay? They are called the greenhouse gases. So what are they doing? They are, entrapping. They are making a layer just beside, just above the atmosphere. Okay. As a result, what is happening? The temperature which is falling onto the earth, it is not being able to go out because in the atmosphere, there are greenhouse gases. So they are, entrapping the whole thing. They are not letting the temperature go out of the surface. As a result, what is happening? The earth is it is cooler than it should be. But if you have more and more greenhouse gases, what would happen? The temperature would get raised again and again. As a result, the temperature would be high for earth. Like maybe there would be a day, if you just keep on doing this, there would be a day when the average temperature would be 40 degrees centigrade. Okay. And it would be very much difficult for us to live. Okay, so this was all about it, and let's just go through some of the questions. Let's see whether you can answer these questions or not. Okay, now, air is a mixture of various gases. One of the gases is 21% of the air, and it's essential for the survival of human beings. The gas is, what is the name of that gas which is very much essential for us, and that is in 21% in the air? Tell me, what is the name of the gas? A, nitrogen; B, oxygen; C, ozone; and D, argon. Tell me. So the right answer would be B, right? Let's see this. So what, why? So as I told you, that the nitrogen in the air is 78%, right? Now, move on to the next question. An individual level, at an individual level, how can you help to reduce the air pollution? So this is, this is going to conclude the whole thing that we have learned so far. So you need to understand this thing, and you need to not only understand this thing, you need to apply this thing in your everyday life as well. Okay. Now, solution: I can do the following things to reduce the air pollution. I can use public transport as far as possible. Why? Because if you use your own vehicle, what would happen? More number of vehicle would, increase the amount of these type of polluting gases. So if you just use more and more vehicles, these type of gases are getting released. As a result, what is happening? Because of these gases, the pollution is increasing, right? They are the reason behind the pollution. And I will generate awareness among the people to reduce air pollution. So this is not about you only. Okay, you are reading this chapter, to generate the awareness. Okay, to spread the awareness throughout your society. Okay, everyone needs to know this, what is happening, what is going to happen with us if we just not take the proper step right now. This is the proper time, this is the prime time. Okay, now I will generate awareness, so this is done. I will plant more and more trees helps us to keep the environment clean, okay, and reduce our air pollution. So I think you know that tree is the only thing that is, cleansing our air. Okay, so if you just, if you just plant more and more trees, what would happen? Your air would be better. Okay, because tree is the reason from where the air is getting the oxygen, right? So we need to understand that these are very important things. Okay, I will not use vehicle for short distance. So if you have to go short distance, you would walk for it, you would take a cycle for it. But don't take your motorcycle or don't take your car for this sort of reasons. So if you have this type of reasons behind this, like you have to go somewhere and that is far away from where you live, you should go that. You should go in your car or you should go in your motorbike. But unless and until, so if you have the if you can take other means as well to reach there, please do that. Okay, don't increase the pollution by taking your own vehicle or by taking your own motorbike. Okay, So you can do other measures as well. So that's it for today. Thank you for your attention so far. So I have enjoyed the time with you so much. I think I am looking forward to meet you again. Okay. I think you have enjoyed learning with me as well. And thank you everyone. So keep learning with Ask IITians. We would meet in the next class. Okay. Bye everyone.